Hello everybody and welcome back to Brakai FYI. So I wanted to start out this episode by saying that obviously I'm not in makeup and I don't look like I did in my previous videos because today's video is all about the breakdown. And in my first video I talked about how there's going to be the ups and downs of self-love, and I wanted to be really true to that, and so this is what I could present today. So I am freshly showered and my night routine is done, but ultimately, I was not in a place where pampering myself in the sense of putting makeup on and going to the extremes of doing my hair and picking out an outfit and feeling really good. I'm just not in that mental state. So I'm being true to that and paying honor to my process and just where the authenticity of where I need to come from. So let's talk about the breakdown. So I'm a firm believer that there is no breakthrough without the breakdown. And what I mean by that is we are really hard on ourselves when we need to take a break or when we are in the place where we can't do anymore. Things are overwhelming. There's outside influences that are really causing us to feel sad or defeated or worthless, and it goes beyond the enemy. It is this undeniable sadness and exhaustion that go hand in hand to the point where you find your coping mechanism or you numb out. I'm classic when it comes to numbing out. I definitely fit that bill. I will watch Netflix for hours and hours and hours because I have been so empathetic, or I've given so much that I can't give anymore. And when I got diagnosed with vertigo, I'm really blessed that it was my inner ear and not something that's neurological, but it was really all-encompassing to my health. And since I've already had issues, it just made me feel so defeated and so lost. And using my own advice, I was able to get out of those situations and have better moments. But ultimately, I'm still healing from that this week. And so this is me being my authentic self, where I was able to take the steps in order to shower, in order to go to the chiropractor today. I was able to exchange, some of my services for another friend's, which is always a win, to be able to barter back and forth with people's talents, to be able to help each other out in that way. And I'll talk about that more in my next video, which will be about pampering. But today, let's talk about the breakdown. So I think it's really important that you feel your feelings. Pain demands to be felt. And so if you're in a place where you are feeling broken or defeated, I want you to know that that's okay. However you feel is okay. You do not owe it to anybody else to feel a certain way. You owe it to yourself to only take the time that's needed before you power forward again. I do believe that you should shut down or wallow even, or if you need to wail and cry like I did this week. I cried every single day, probably multiple times a day. That's okay. You have to process your emotions in a way that's healthy, and sometimes when they're overwhelming, you do shut down. And I've heard people get really hard on themselves. I'm not doing enough, I'm lazy, this isn't like me. No, it's not like you, but it is a part of you, and that does deserve to have some homage paid to it. There is the bad bitch in all of us, that person, that go-getter, that run to the roar, the go, 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 go. And then there is that part of us that needs to shut down. You might be an empath. I very much am so, and sometimes being around too many people or giving all week long in a customer service position is so draining that I have a whole day where I just lay in bed and do nothing. And then the next day I'm able to get chores done and set up my week and feel better about me again. But there are times where I need to totally shut down. Scientifically, it's proven too that because of the schedules that we're on, there needs to be time to wind down, And when you're going, which if you know me, that's been my whole life, there has to be the opposite contrast to that. It's really important that you allow yourself to feel your feels, because otherwise you put yourself in a position where you are either in denial or you punish yourself. Nobody deserves to feel bad for the fact that they're feeling bad, and punishing each other for being human is so unnecessary, especially when it comes to punishing yourself. So let's say that you recognize, I'm in a place where my pain is demanding to be felt and I really need to wallow right now, and I'm going to go through my comfort methods and I'll try again tomorrow. That's fine. What I suggest and what I tried this week was giving myself certain amounts of time that I'm allowed to wallow. Like, I would set an alarm on my phone and be like, you have an hour to feel whatever you feel, get onto TikTok, eat whatever, just do it. And then after that, I would force myself to get up, drink a glass of water, and get outside or read a book or change my environment, which is my first official tip. Change your environment. If you're in a place where you feel so low that you're unable to move, I've been there and I'm so sorry that you're in that place. But I also know that the hardest thing to do is get out of bed, and that's exactly what you have to do. If you are looking to move forward, if you are in a place where you're like, I don't want this right now, I don't want this anymore, I feel so trapped by this, change your environment. Get outside and go on a walk, find an adventure. If you have a car, I do not, but if you have a car, go and sing your face off, listen to a podcast. Movies always make me feel better, and I am a classic binger. I will eat food to fill my voids, which is something in my own life that I work with and struggle with, but ultimately I'm healing from. My next piece of advice is to hydrate. We're so bad at taking care of ourselves, and you have to start with just the little things. So especially in a place where, I was crying all week, hydrating is a really great step in the direction of choosing you and just reminding your body that it's still a temple and that you are there to take care of it. And if that's the best you got, that's okay. If you're in a position where you're not eating, strive for one balanced meal. And I'm not saying that you have to cook your face off, get that DoorDash or Grubhub, get that poke bowl, but do something that will treat your body right in the day. And then you know what? If you need to binge, you do it. I'm not promoting that by any means, but if you need a day to sit there and eat a bag of chips while you cry over Dawson's Creek, you go for it. If that is your prerogative, and the next day you feel lighter and you feel a little bit better, okay. But you don't need to, next point, punish yourself. You need to give yourself grace, which means that you might not feel yourself, or you're so hard on yourself for not getting enough done, but be reminded that there is time, it will happen, and that is not what you need right now. When you have deadlines that are crushing, when you have bills that need to be paid, the weight of the world can just start to pummel you down. And with all of that pressure, you tend to forget what is important. And at the end of the day, that is you. You are what's important. You are the priority. You can only do so much. But ultimately, it all comes back to you. You are the center of your own fabulous universe. You are the main character in this book. And I'm so proud of you for making it this far, because ultimately life is really hard. Being human is so hard, and people forget that that means you have to forgive yourself in the moments where you're being human. I will call myself out all the time where I have this really big, fantastical emotional breakdown, and I'm like, she deserves that love. My inner child deserves that love. My bad bitch deserves that love. My performer, my woman, my androgynous side, my masculine side, my positive and negative, my many, many sides of me deserve me to choose me. And sometimes that can only be in small bits, so only take and bite off what you can chew. Which brings me to my next point, which I think is really important. Remind yourself that this is temporary. Yes, if you're dealing with things that are chronic and it continues to come forward, I don't necessarily understand that. I have not lived it myself. I've only dealt with bouts of depression or anxiety. But ultimately, nothing lasts forever. You can say that about life, happiness, sorrow, or that really delicious piece of cake. But ultimately, this is temporary. And that mantra can get you through a lot because it reminds you that you're bigger than this moment, that you're able to step forward, that you are able to leave this behind and to get better. And getting better does not mean that you have to be happy-go-lucky, positive, sunshine radiance all of the time. Getting better is whatever that means to you. So if that means getting better, for me, today was showering because I haven't in days, was to do my face care night routine because I haven't in days. It was to say yes to my healing today. It was to go to the store and get some vegan nuggets and tater tots and some vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free donuts. I have a box in the kitchen, and after this video, I'm gonna tear into those as I watch a funny movie with my boyfriend to try to laugh it off, let it go, as I restart my work week, as I finish my laundry tonight, as I say yes to a new beginning. And then next week, you know what? I might be in a place where I need to feel fabulous again. And when that happens, I will put on my makeup, I will do my hair, and I will feel freaking fabulous because I choose that. But right now, I choose to feel my feels. And I had a hard week, and I was really scared, and I dealt with some emotional trauma in my life, which at a later date I might divulge and talk more about and talk about those trigger points. But ultimately, this is my reality, and that's okay, because I do not need makeup to be beautiful. I am fucking beautiful, and I do not need to apologize for it. Society may tell me that I need the makeup to be a certain type of professional, beautiful, and I don't care. I am beautiful just the way I am. Bare-faced, naked, and vulnerable to the world. Because there are people out there that can't be seen without makeup. And I'm really blessed that I don't feel trapped by that societal standard. Nope, this is me, and she is enough. And you are enough. If you are in a place where you can't move, if you are in a place where you need to cry, if you are in a place where you need to scream, that's okay. Your feelings demand to be felt, and pain is in so many different facets. And anger, we're told to shove it down, shove it down, shove it down. It's not okay, but it still demands to be felt. So if you need to punch that pillow, boo, you do it. Straight up. Do it. If you are taking out your anger and aggression in a way that is not physically harming you, do it. But treat that temple right, man. Bring it back to home base. Remind yourself that, hey, I didn't feel the best today, but I did change my environment. I went and got that walk. I did have a glass of water and I almost didn't do anything. I'm kind of grateful that, I had that stir fry that happened to have broccoli in it. I'll call that balanced enough for today. And thank God this is temporary because I can't do much more, but I got this right now. All right, now I'm gonna go wallow. Awesome, you do it. Because it's important for you to be reminded that you are enough at every facet. And that was my big down this week, was remembering that there is no breakthrough without the breakdown. All right, that's it for tonight. Please be reminded that you are worthy of so much. And today's Virgo fact of the day is Did you know that when you put moisturizer on your neck that you're supposed to go in upward motions for an anti-gravity effect? Who knew? All right, guys. I will see you next week where we talk about the wondrous world of pampering. I'm excited about it. Bye.